Okie dokie. Oh, I should have maybe cleaned up my mat. I was in meditation before, so not very good example. So day 12, and I'm again really enjoying this. So I felt that we're still breaking down the sun salutations, and especially as you mentioned, the stress that we feel here in the top of our neck, the shoulders. When we're stressed, we're automatically going to breathe shorter. So the breath is here. And so very often we also, if we would breathe big breaths in the chest, it would be okay. We would still work those muscles. But often we just compress. The breath becomes much shorter. The muscles are tensing up. So your timing is perfect because we are going to do the standing positions today of the sun salutation. And a big part of that will be also opening and standing of the upper part of your back. Also, as we get older, the tendency will be also for the upper spine to start to round. So the bones are getting a little bit more brittle. The discs are not as cushioned anymore. So very often we start to really go like that, and you'll see it. I remember Maria, one of my students, who was, she really wanted to work on that. She's like, I don't want to have that. She's 85, something like that. So, so it's, how can we work on that? And the main thing is the trapeze muscles. So the trapeze are leaving from your neck, from your skull here, and they're going down here. So if they are loose, then we start to go forward. So the trapeze also, if we're stressed or if we've been working on the computer, they're getting stretched out. And when we pull them back and we stand like this, they're suddenly very short and tight. So we want to find that movement here, same as we would do, to move the hip or move the wrists. We have to find, but it's a difficult place to reach. So what I wanted to suggest first is that we do 2 sun salutations together, just to warm up the body, because after that, we'll move to the floor and we'll stand up and everything, but it's all to work on our standing pose. So basically, our beginning Tadasana. So I want you to do your sun salutation at your own rhythm. I will guide you, but if you're slower or if you're faster, that's all fine. If there is one of the poses in the sun salutation that you prefer to skip or do at your own way, or if you want to stay somewhere, that's all okay. Okay? So let's start at the front of the mat into our standing pose. Just take your time to get ready for the start. So as runners who are in their starting blocks, we are here finding, arriving, connecting, and then take a deep breath in and a long breath out. So the purpose of these 2 sun salutations is to warm up the body. Okay? Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, move slowly. We're warming up the body. It's morning, so exhale, go down. Inhale, place your hands onto your thighs, roll the shoulders back, and lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your knees, place the hands down. So you want to bend your knees as much as you need to put your hands down. And then bring the right leg back and the right knee on the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up, or keep your hands onto your thigh if you need it for stability. Inhale and exhale, release into the hip. Let's work a little bit on that, on the hip release, the groin area. And then exhale, bring the arms down. Tuck your back toe and bring the left leg back. So you can be in full plank or you can be on your knees, whatever is best for you. And then knees, chest, chin. So remember from the cobra, elbows are moving back. Otherwise your chest is going to close. And then we create even more stress into the trapeze. And then inhale, roll in between and open the chest. Exhale. downward facing dog. So move slowly into your downward facing dog. First, I'm going to keep my heels lifted. I'm going to keep my knees bent, and I'm going to lengthen the spine. Rolling the shoulders out, lengthening the spine, lifting the hips, and then very gently start to walk the dog, meaning lengthening one leg and then the other leg. And we're going to do this for 10 more breaths. So inhale, exhale. If this is too much for you, for low blood pressure, you know what to do. Do it with a chair. And then after your 10 breaths, bend both your knees again, lift your hips up, and now see if you can stretch out your legs. Bring the heels a little bit lower. Lift your right leg up, straight, strong, and then look forward, bend your right knee, and bring the right foot forward. Left knee on the floor. Inhale, lift up, so hands on the thighs or reaching up. Exhale, hands down, tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, lengthen your front leg. So here we're really ready into for the runner, for the sprint. And then bring your left foot forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. And then bend your knees and inhale, reach all the way up. And exhale. So this is one. We're going to do another one. So go really at your rhythm. We're going to do it a little bit more fluidly. You probably already feel that your body warmed up. So excellent place to start your day. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees in time so you don't force your lower back. Inhale, straight back. So straight legs, straight back. Exhale, fold. Left leg back, left knee on the floor. Inhale, reach the arms up. I'll keep them on your thigh. Exhale, drop your hips down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands down, tuck your back toe, come into plank or plank on your knees. Inhale, and then as you exhale, knees, chest, chin, down. Rolling between your arms for cobra as you inhale. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And again, we're going to stay here for 10 breaths. You can walk your dog. It's a really good stretch for the legs, keeping the upper body long. And then when you took your 10 breaths, if you want 5 breaths, whatever works for you, then bend both knees, lift the heels, press your hips up again, and then exhale, bring the heels down. This time lift your left leg and bring the left foot in between your hands. Right knee on the floor. And then inhale, come up. Exhale, release in the hip. And then bring the hands down, tuck your back toe, lift your knee, and hop forward. Inhale again, long spine. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, press into your feet, and come all the way up. And exhale. So stand in your mountain pose. Maybe you feel your breath, your heart is beating, your breath is a little bit shorter. So you can close your eyes, you can lengthen the exhale to calm down the heart and the breathing. Okay, so when we're standing in Tadasana, so there's various approaches for the feet. The big toes can be together, the heels slightly apart. I'll just lift a bit. Or you can have your feet wider. So really depending, but you have a look at the outside of your feet. So your outside of your feet should be parallel towards each other. If you do that, you might feel like, especially if you're used to stand with your toes out, and suddenly you're gonna place your feet parallel to each other, you might feel it in your hips. It's okay. Allow it. Allow your hips to stretch. This is a good posture. If you feel pain, if you would stand like this for an hour and you feel a lot of pain, then just adjust a little bit. So we're just trying to find that balance between the two legs. So lift your toes up. You should feel the arches of your feet lifting up. Maybe you also feel the kneecaps lifting up and the quads lifting up. So we're just focusing on the legs for now. And then press your toes down. And now come onto your toes and lift up. So we don't want to compensate with the body. So if you need to hold on to something, hold on to something. See if you can lift a little bit higher. So now we're activating the calf muscles. You probably also activate a little bit more the back of your legs. And then come down. Moving to the knees. So lifting the kneecaps, feeling the quads activating. And then release. So another way to get into your quadriceps, which are responsible for getting you up from a chair, for making you go up a mountain or up the stairs. So very important muscles, especially as we get older and maybe we have more a sedentary life and we're sitting in our sofa and it's getting a problem to get up and then you need to push yourself up. So working those quadriceps is always quite important. So from here, your feet are equally pushing down. So as much with the ball mount of your toes as with your heels. Place your hands onto your hips. And now start to bend your knees. So just let the knees go wherever they go, keeping the shoulders and the hip in line. Press down. So you should, maybe you feel your bum getting active. Watch out that you don't curve the spine. So the spine remains neutral. Always remember that feeling that you have in downward dog. And then lift up, press into your feet. Now we're gonna keep on looking at our toes, and we're gonna press our hips back, bending the knees. So this time your upper body can come forward a little bit. The weight is in the heels now. So much more weight, your toes can dance. Look at your toes. It's not going to look for your toes like this. You want to really be able to see your toes in front of your knees. So maybe you have to push your hips back a little bit more. Again, watch out for the curving of the lower back. So your tailbone, play a little bit with your tailbone, bring it down, bring it up, and see what happens. If you're stable, you can bring your arms forward and maybe bring the upper body a little bit more straight. If you want, you can bring your arms up. But watch out that you don't compensate with the lower back. So I guess you all feel your quadriceps now. And then inhale, reach up. And exhale. So the importance of having strong legs as we are standing, of lifting those kneecaps up, because the kneecaps are eventually going to connect with our upper body. So the muscles are going up, the bum is active, and then place your one hand on top of your belly button. So often when we say pull the belly button in, we're flattening the lower back. So we want to keep the natural curve of our lower back. You might want to put your another hand here with the palm facing out. It's easier for the rotation of the shoulder. And now with your hand on your belly, you're going to just tuck your belly just a little bit. Keep the kneecaps lifted. Tuck your belly and then see if you can, with your hand, lift your belly button up. So as I do this, I'll come a bit closer, maybe you can see it. So my lower back is not moving, but I'm going to bring that in and my chest is lifting automatically. I can still breathe here. It's not that I'm like this, ready to walk on the beach. No. So I really want to be able to lift my sternum, the breastbone here. So this is core work. So if you know that your core is a little bit more weak, I always suggest to people to take 1 hour a week of Pilates classes. They're very useful to really, because they focus almost solely on the core. So from here, my chest bone is lifted. Place your fingers into your armpits like this. Your thumb is into your armpits, and see if you can lift that up. So this is very artificial, like we would never walk around like this, or unless you're in a movie or something. So lift it up and feel how your breastbone is going to lift up even a little bit more. And then I'll keep that there and bring your arms down. So what happened here is that the collarbones, the clavicules, have been lifted up. So if you could also do pushing the fingers onto the collarbone, but it doesn't really move. So I find this movement where you almost like swoop your chest up and automatically your shoulders are going down, your shoulder blades down, is a very useful movement. So we're building blocks here. From here, what happens very often is that we're gonna do like this, and then we're gonna do like this to compensate. So keep your neck in line with your spine. Think again, downward facing dog, but this time with a straight neck. Very often we drop the head when we're in downward facing dog. So you can keep your hands here if you want to. And now start to even more roll the shoulders back. Shoulder blades down. So it's not about this, because here I'm pushing my head even more forward. I'm pushing my shoulder blades together. So I want to almost widen in my shoulders. If I could pull on my shoulders, that's what I would do. So with my fingers into my armpit, I'm going to lift up, and then I'm going to roll my shoulders down, back, roll the shoulder blades down. So the shoulder blades are triangles. The point of the triangle is down, and I want to bring it lower. But by doing that, I don't want to go like this. You see? That's what happens. So keeping the length, that's why the length and the strength in the core is important. So I can keep that space here. And don't worry, we're going to work on the space in a minute. So when you close your eyes for a minute and you're in this pose, this might feel very, very strange, very artificial. But this is what standing poses do. They bring you into a healthy posture, because very often we don't even pay attention. And so now, especially as we wait in line a lot, this can be very useful to know this, and then just practice. You move, it's almost your turn. You reposition yourself, legs, you go all the way up, and then you're standing there. It's not that you look like a fool. You just have a beautiful posture. Okay? So let's stand. Now we're gonna go and get a little bit more length into the sides, so between the ribs. So the first ribs are attached front and back, so to the spine and the breastbone, and then you have the floating ribs. So the floating ribs are just, they're floating here, and so it's much easier to stretch in between the floating ribs. Often when we sit a lot, we're gonna sink into the waist, and then the rest of the upper body is gonna follow. So let's work a little bit on those intracostal muscles. So stand in your Tadasana, take your time to arrive there. And then inhale, bring the hands onto your shoulders. So no armpits this time, just onto the shoulder. Roll the shoulders back. So keep your hands onto your shoulders. Roll the shoulders back and bring the shoulder blades down. From here, we're going to start to open the right side. So inhale, press into your feet. Feel your whole body being stable. And then exhale, go towards the left. So lifting your right elbow up, opening the armpit towards the front. So your right shoulder moves back and then going down with the left elbow. So it's not about touching here. You can keep your arms in one line. So we really want to feel that opening, most probably in the top of your upper body. So your hips remain in place, your legs are strong, your kneecaps are lifted. Inhale, exhale. Open up maybe a little bit more. Even if you're leaning back a little bit, that's okay. And then coming back. Let's go to the other side. So inhale, lengthen your whole body until the crown of your head. And then exhale, start to bring the right down, the left up. Your left shoulder is really moving back, opening up so that your armpit is showing to the front. You should be able to breathe normally here. So if you're holding your breath because of whatever reason, see if you can come back a little bit, take a breath in, find a bit more length into your upper body, and then exhale, go further. And then slowly coming back. So we just open the sides a little bit. Now bring your arms to the front. And as we bring our arms to the front, what often happens, we move everything forward. So roll the shoulders back again and shoulder blades down. You should start to maybe feel a little bit the work in your trapeze muscles. So you really want to push those shoulder blades down. Interlace your fingers and then turn the palms forward. So your thumb can push onto each other. The palm is really wide. And then from here, inhale, roll the shoulders back, activate the rest of your body, and start to lift your arms up. Lift up. If your shoulders are coming up to your ears for now, that's okay. Don't worry about it. So lift up. Press your feet down. Lift the kneecaps. But see if you can find some length into your waist, in between your ribs. Inhale. And then if you have a little bit more space, it's not pushing the head forward. The neck remains in place. See if you can bring your arms a little bit more back. And how do we do this? By pushing the shoulder blades down. Don't push your belly button forward. So keep the spine long, as if we were in downward facing dog. And then release, bring the arms to the sides. So there's a lot of work happening here. So if you were saying that you feel a lot of stress here, you probably feel there is quite a lot of tension built up for the moment. So I would suggest then just to move a little bit. So if you feel tension, make sure you release. Like sometimes we're like, oh, it's so stressed, I'm so stressed, and then we continue. So why not, do a little dance, just move a little bit with the shoulders like this. Okay, and so now I want you to explore something. We are going to go on the floor just for a minute, and then take, if you have a blanket, ideally not too thick, it's just more to have something touching your shoulders. So put the blanket at the end of your mat, and we're just staying for a minute down, so don't worry about it. So put your blanket down and then lay down, and you want to have your blanket not under your shoulders, but just at the height of your shoulders. So your head is on the blanket, and there is like a line created with your blanket. So if it's not thick enough, you don't feel it, just lift it a little bit so you feel where the line is. Not so much on the shoulders, but more into the neck. So what we're actually doing here is that the blanket is, I'll see if I can show it from here. So it's a little bit weird, but if you look at the video, so my blanket is here, and it creates a line here. So the line that it creates here, the shoulder line, is actually where all the tension starts into the neck. So this is the place that we want to work on and see if we can open up. Okay, so now I hope you have a wall. If you don't have a wall, you can sit on a chair. So come up and now sit. So I'll show it for a minute without the wall so that you can really clearly see. First of all, it's always the same thing. If you know you're falling back, you want to sit onto a pillow just on the edge so you can roll forward and then sit like this. So imagine I have a wall here. First of all, bring your fingertips to the side, roll the shoulders back, and again, see if we can get that length into our upper body. So what we're going to do now is quite heavy work. It doesn't look like it, but it's a lot of work. So you want to sit really against the wall. So move back, sit against the wall. So my hips or sacrum are touching, my shoulder blades, roll them back. Your shoulder blades might be touching the wall depending on how your back is built. And then press your fingers down, lengthen even more. And then reach your arms forward again, interlace your hands, turn the palms forward. And from here, reach your arms up. Press into your sitting bones and then reach your arms up. Continue to breathe, roll the shoulders back. So it's not about reaching the shoulders higher, it's keeping the shoulder blades against the wall, the shoulders, and then reaching the arms up, finding length. So your legs are working as well here. Are we still breathing? And then release. So if you would do this on a chair, same principle, except you don't have that pushback for your arms. But this is just much, like you can create a lot of length here in your upper body because you don't have to worry about your legs. So I just want to show you, we'll use the chair a little bit later. I know it's an all-around class today. So from here, from your seated position, so we're going to stay a little bit against the wall. This time, again, fingertips next to your hips, roll the shoulders back, elbows back. You can use the wall as a support, but don't lean into it. Don't collapse your upper body. So just be aware, this is a lot of muscle working. So it's totally normal that you're gonna get tired. Roll the shoulders back, elbows back, and now remember that line in your neck. See if you can lower that line from your neck together with your shoulder blades. So you want to bring that down to stretch out the trapeze. From here, lengthen, and then reach the arms to the side. Press your arms into the wall. Roll the shoulders back, roll the shoulder blades down. Extend your arms. And then reach your arms up. This time, palms are facing towards each other. Keep the shoulders open so that the armpits can show forward. Reach up. Maybe you want to crawl a little bit up the wall. Active in the core. You should feel that in your core. My shoulder blades are still going down. That line in my neck is still going down. Reach the fingertips up. So everything is working. My legs are working. My toes are lifting up. And then release. So quite a lot of work. Now, let's go on the mat. Take 2 blocks if you have. If you don't have 2 blocks, you can also take a couple of pillows or a bolster, or if you really don't have anything like that, take the chair. So the chair we're going to use in a minute, so you can put the chair there. I'll show you first with 2 blocks. So you're going to put the 2 blocks there. If you have knee issues, place a pillow behind your knee. We're not going fully into child's pose, but so we're gonna extend our arms forward. Take a breath in, so feeling that length of the spine. And then place your hands on your support, so on your blocks, press your hands down. So the goal is not to touch the forehead to the floor. The goal is to roll the shoulders out, lengthen the spine, but at the same time, bring the shoulder blades down. So this might be a very strange feeling. If you're flexible, you're probably going to sink into your belly. So make sure that your tailbone goes towards your heels, so that tilt into the hips. If you're using the chair, hold on to the chair. Same thing. So you're probably sitting higher. So if you have knee problem, this is a very good variation. But again, you're not collapsing in your belly. So we're staying into that Tadasana, the mountain pose with our upper body, pressing your hands down into the chair, rolling the shoulders out, but at the same time, bring the shoulder blades down. Inhale, exhale, finding that length between the ribs that we need when we're standing up, activating the core here. And then slowly release and come up. So now come up and stand and observe how you feel. So maybe if you were feeling some tension before, I hope it doesn't get worse. If it does, you can always tell me. So if you want to share, how do you feel? You can do so. It's really up to you.
It's good. I feel fine.
You feel fine? Okay. Jocelyne, tu peux juste unmute si tu veux.
C'est très bénéfique, ça fait comme un soulagement.
Ouais, ok.
Je me sens comme si ça avait, en tout cas, plus détendu.
Ok, cool. Okay. Donc, c'est ça le but. Je vais vous remuer. Ouais. C'est bon, j'ai mute. Yeah, I just wanted to check in because for some people, especially if we're really used to that and really used to be in that position and in a stressful position, when we are actually going to release and lengthen the muscles, we sometimes get into some kind of spasm. And absolutely, that's your muscles just saying, ooh, time out, time out. Okay, so these are all things that you can do in your daily activities. So one of the things that I find very beneficial, so if you have a chair, but you can also do this on the wall, or if you have a sink, I like to do this in the morning at the sink. So I will wake up and I will roll my shoulders back and really position my shoulder blades down. So this awareness of where are my shoulder blades. But then very often I'm like this. And you can do this in your car, just that awareness. And then I'm going to put my hand on the back of the chair or the sink, especially the sink, you can hold it strong. And then before I'm going to go down, roll my shoulders back, starting to press my hips back. So keeping always the mountain pose in your head. So my legs are straight, my feet are as wide as my hips, or if you prefer to have your feet, your big toes touching. And just take the time, lift your kneecaps, activate your core. As you activate your core, you're probably going to feel something happening in your tailbone. If not, that's okay. It really depends on the person. Think about the breastbone. Think about the armpits rolling back. Don't drop your head, okay? Don't drop your head, and with the core active, usually you won't drop into your belly, but just pay attention. And then hold on to the chair, start to roll the shoulders out so that the armpits can really point to the floor. So from here, I'm lengthening my spine. I'm bringing my shoulder blades even more down. So as you bring your shoulder blades down, you might have the impression that you're actually moving a little bit closer to the chair or the sink. But I'm opening in to my upper spine. And then slowly walking back. And then again, release a little bit. So we're holding here to find that stretch. The other one, which is a little bit more difficult on the chair, but especially on the countertop or on a table, you can place your elbows down and then walk back. You can interlace your hands, and this is more a shoulder opener. So you want to have your arms a little bit wider than what I have now. So I'll probably show you that when I have the material available. So it's a big shoulder opener if you feel that your breathing is a little bit restricted. So let's take the chair. And we're gonna do a rotation, because although when we're standing, this is tense, but we also know that if we're just moving in this one plane all the time, so back and forth, we rarely go from side to side unless we have a job that requires us to do that. We rarely move like that unless we go in for aerobic classes or whatever. So let's go into a gentle twist. So I'm gonna sit with the back of the chair on my right side, and then I move quite a lot to the front of my chair. So my sitting bones are on the chair, but the rest of my legs are off. Make sure that your feet are flat on the floor, that your thighs are parallel with the floor. So if you have a little bit shorter legs, then put something underneath. And let's find again that length. So the more length we have in the upper body, the more space we have to twist. So it's as if your vertebrae, like you create like whoop, a little bit of elasticity in between, and then whoa, they can move. If they're smack on top of each other, it's going to be a little bit more grinding work. So from here, so think about Tadasana. So your legs, your feet are strong on the floor. Your legs are supporting you, but you don't need to tense them now, because otherwise all the attention will go there, because it's not a natural tensing. Inhale, belly button slightly in and then up. Lift the breastbone. If you want to do this movement again, just to bring your shoulders back, shoulder blades down, go for it. Lengthening the neck. And all the while, as you lengthen the neck, you want to bring that line in your neck that we looked for with the blanket on the floor. Bring it down. So your shoulder blades are coming down. This should not mean that your shoulder blades are coming together. Very important. And then reach your arms up and find that length again. So reaching up, press your sitting bones down, roll the shoulders back, elbows back, reach up with your hands. Find a little bit more space into your sides, not into your shoulders. So shoulder blades are rolling down. Same as we did against the wall. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, start to turn towards the right, keeping the length. Inhale, exhale, bring the hands onto the back of your chair. I've been turning to the right, so my back shoulder, my right shoulder is going to roll back and the shoulder blade is going to come down. First step. So we're twisting mainly in the upper spine. Second step, I'm pulling with my left hand onto the chair so I can move this shoulder a little bit more forward, but at the same time, I want to bring the shoulder blade back. So I'm really opening my chest here. Inhale, and then you can continue. So stay very aware of here. It's a big twist. And then if you want to add a little twist to your neck, you can look back, but it's absolutely not mandatory. So you can just look forward. Forward meaning to the right. But make sure that that right shoulder moves down. So you don't want to have your shoulder into your ear. You want to move that shoulder down. And now we're taking big breaths. Belly, chest, exhale. Keep the space you created. Maybe as you exhale, you can twist just a little bit more. You should be breathing easily. So if your breath is a little bit more difficult or restrained, maybe back off a little bit and see if you can find fluidity in your breath. And then slowly release and coming back. So you really want to release slowly here. And then for a moment, close your eyes, place your hands onto your thighs and observe. How do you feel? Maybe in your body feels like, whoa, one side is so different than the other. So let's do the other side. So I'm just turning my chair so I don't show you my back. So sitting on the, not on the edge because otherwise you're gonna fall off. So your sitting bone are on the chair. Do your preparation. So my legs are strong because if my legs are not strong and I'm twisting, my legs are gonna go like this and I'm hanging over my chair. So they still have a supportive role here. Lengthen the upper body. I think by now we all know what to do. So belly button goes in, starting to lift the chest bone. Maybe again using your thumbs in your armpits, lengthening up. And then now with your thumbs in your armpits, let's immediately lift the arms up. Lengthening in the waist. You can wiggle yourself. You can imagine your ribs getting a little bit more space. Inhale, reach up. Reach up. Lengthening, shoulder blades down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, turn towards the left without collapsing in your upper body. So we still have that space. And then exhale, place the hands onto the back of the chair. Inhale, lengthening. Again, the spine. So we don't want to start to bend in all kinds of ways. Our spine really remains straight here. So roll the left shoulder, the back shoulder down, shoulder blade down. You can press with your left hand on the back of the chair to help you here. But realign your spine. Your right hand is gently gonna pull your right shoulder towards the front. So forward, but not just the shoulder. So you wanna keep the shoulder blade back. By pulling, you're just twisting a little bit more into your spine. Legs are strong, knees are pointing forward. You can look back, you can look to the side. Let's take 3 more breaths here. So with every exhale, maybe finding a little bit more twist. And then very slowly coming back to center. So since we are on the chair, we are going to end on the chair unless you want to go into Shavasana. So come onto your chair and sit again in a, what can I say, healthy way. If I say comfortable, for me comfortable is where I feel aligned. So at a certain point, maybe for you, you're going to get to that point too. I feel aligned, I feel straight, I feel I have a lot of space. Place your hands onto your thighs. Take a deep breath in and again, lengthen your spine, but this time we're going to release a little bit in the neck. So inhale, exhale, bring the chin down. Don't move your shoulders. So your shoulders are rolling back, shoulder blades are down. And bring your chin down. Breathing becomes a little bit more difficult. You're closing off your throat, that's okay. And then gently roll your right ear towards the right shoulder, being aware that your right shoulder is not moving, just moving the neck muscles. And then coming back and then going to the other side. And coming back. One more time each side. So moving very gently here. And then coming back to center. Lift your head, roll the shoulders back, shoulder blades down. Close your eyes. How does this feel? Does this feel comfortable? See if you can bring your chin a little bit more back, because by habit, we'll push our chin forward. So can I bring, as I roll my blades, shoulders back and shoulder blades down, can I bring my chin a little bit more back? Can I maybe, as I bring my chin a little bit more back, bring my chin a little bit more down? Just breathe very naturally here. And then very slowly, consciously reconnecting with your feet on the floor. Feeling your upper body as if you were standing in mountain pose. And then leaning a little bit forward, pressing into your feet and slowly coming up into your full mountain pose. So bring the arms to the side, making any adjustment that you feel necessary. Maybe you don't need to make any. Maybe your body is just there where it should be. And now bending the elbows, bring the thumb on the lowest part of your chest bone. Bring the elbows out, and again, rolling the shoulders back, shoulder blades down. So I'm still standing in a Tadasana, but with my hands in front of my chest. And then gently tuck your chin. Namaste. And then you can do a little dance.
All right, thank you. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. So tomorrow is early, and then I still didn't send out the information. So I'm going to do a yoga nidra tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, at 1 o'clock?
At 1 o'clock, yeah. Otherwise, if you're awake at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, you can join. It's going to be more back to basics because I have a couple of new students from Europe. So.
Okay, wonderful. Good to hear. Bye.
Merci,
Bye. Ça va,
Valérie.
Jocelyne? Ça t'a aidé?
Oui, oui, ça m'a beaucoup aidé.
Donc, et tu vois, il y a toutes les choses qu'on a fait aujourd'hui. Tu n'as pas besoin d'être sur ton tapis pendant 1 heure. Hein. C'est plein de choses que tu peux faire pendant ta journée.
Ouais, en tout cas, c'est très bénéfique. Je me sens beaucoup mieux.
OK, ben, bonne médiation.
Merci.
Bye.
OK, à demain. Bye-bye.
À demain. Bye.